All right, welcome to Rockstars on the Rise, call number 1, the September-October edition. So we welcome you guys all here to tonight's training. And if you haven't already, make sure you go over to the chat and type in your name and your upper level director's name so that we have a clean record of all of our attendance. My name is Tiffany Foreman. I have been a Pampered Chef consultant for 17 years, and I'm excited to be presenting tonight with Debbie Cook. Debbie's currently enjoying the breeze in Hawaii, it looks like. I'm just sitting in my office in Virginia Beach. So
wishful thinking.
Right, it's totally wishful. And I think Bobby is on tonight from Louisiana, and I am not seeing any other directors on yet. Doesn't mean that they aren't coming. But if you haven't already, make sure you put your name and your director's name over in that chat. But let's go ahead and get started with our training. So there are many reasons why you initially joined Pampered Chef. This is actually one of the screenshots we use in our Look and Learn to explain different reasons why you might join Pampered Chef. And your initial why could be very different than your current why. So over in the chat, if you don't mind, tell us what your initial why was, and then you can just do a quick slash in your current why. I've been, like I said, a consultant for 17 years. I first started out to try to make a car payment. Now I realize I have a kid that's going to college in a year and a half, 2 years, and we need to start saving more money than we currently do. Plus, I know Debbie's doing house renovations. I know Bobby's already paid for college. Like, there are so many things that when you first join, you don't even realize what this money can go towards as your income grows. So
we have some good ones here. We have free products / extra spending money to support my PC addiction, extra money to pay off debt, initial why, save money up for a car, get discounts / replace full-time income. Definitely can do that too. To run away from my mother-in-law and meet new people.
I like that one.
And then to have something of my own. It's going by fast. So have something of my own, but I missed something else on that because they're flying by now. I initially want to replace my work income and stay home. I have to have extra money. Now I want to pay for a wedding. Free products and meet new people, fund my family vacations. Discounts at first. Now I want to stay home and watch the grandkids. Oh, that's fun too. I know I missed a few, but it's going so fast.
Yeah, so we're all over the board. So many different whys. So you can see there are so many different aprons that Pampered Chef has to fulfill a need or a want in your life. So let's talk a little bit about what Rockstars on the Rise could do for you. And it's to help you to get the more that you're looking for, to fulfill that need or want you just shared with us. So through this program, you're going to get more shows booked. You're going to earn more income for your family when you do the things that we are going to ask you to do. You're going to actually increase your feeling of confidence and stability with your parties when you're doing these things that we're going to talk about throughout today and throughout the next 4 weeks. You're actually going to add to your team. That might scare the bejesus out of you. And then you might even get a brand new title. So there's a lot of things that this Rockstars on the Rise program could lead to. Oh, where's my clicker?
There you go. All of them.
So we do have some promotion opportunities. So here is a nice little chart that's actually available for you in Dash. We know the writing is really small, and we know it can be very overwhelming when looking at all the different titles within Pampered Chef. So what we wanted to focus on is that top row across the top that says senior consultant, consultant, senior consultant, and team leader, because that's where a lot of you are sitting right now, is in one of those 3 buckets. So this may be something that you've never even thought about when you initially joined Pampered Chef, but it's a way to really increase your income, and we want to share all those possibilities with you. So when it comes to the leadership with Pampered Chef and the career plan, the first step is being a senior consultant. And this means you add 1 person to your team. And when they are active, you're actually going to earn an extra 1% on yourself and a 1% extra on from what they have submitted. And then the second level in leadership is called a team leader. And that is where you have 2 people on your team, 2 active people on your team directly under you. Together, the 3 of you submit 2,500 and you get an extra 2% on them and on you. So a lot of you are probably sitting either in that consultant, senior consultant, or team leader bucket. And so we wanted to kind of cover what those benefits are, because sometimes you promote and you have no idea that you're getting these benefits. So we wanted to share a little bit about that, because you may remember back when you first joined Pampered Chef, either through the Look and Learn that you attended or your director's new consultant training with you, we shared with you that there are 2 ways to earn money with Pampered Chef. 1 is to sell product, and 2 is to grow your team. So we wanted to kind of touch base on that, just to give you a little bit of an overview as it pertains to the leadership and the career plan.
And the 1% and 2% don't sound like a lot, but if you notice those little amounts underneath before, it can be an extra $35 or $80 a month.
Yeah.
And it really adds up over time. It can even be more than that, but that's just showing you like on average. So it really does add up. That 1% sounds tiny, but it's lots of good extra money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then after team leader, the next level that you're looking at is going to be a director with the Pampered Chef. So as you heard me introduce Debbie, myself, and Bobby, we are all directors with the Pampered Chef, and we have other titles above that. But first and foremost, we are consultants and directors. So with a director, you have at least 5 consultants under you, and they don't all have to be directly under you. So look at these little circles. They kind of show that you can have like a little family tree looking like dang. And with the director level, you're going to get an extra 3% increase on yourself and an extra 3% on your team. And then you also get what we call an activity bonus. It's $10 per person who is active. So look at that jump in commission for our consultant Jen in this example. Because she's a director, she made 35% more commission because she had a team that she earned overrides and activity bonuses. Now, a question I actually got recently from a consultant is, does the consultant have to pay the director that override? And the answer is no. Pampered Chef pays us all individually. So let's use the example of, I'm trying to think of who's on my team right now. Laura is on my team. So when Laura submits her sales, she doesn't take 3% of her sales and give them to me because I'm her director. Pampered Chef pays me my 3%, and Pampered Chef pays her the commission that she earned on her sales. So we just want to go over a little bit about those benefits before we jump into this. Debbie, you want to talk about Fast Track?
Oh, this is one of my favorites. So the Fast Track, this is if you're in your first 90 days, and some of you guys are. And there is $3,000 on the table. We do not want Warren Buffett doesn't need it. So this is for you if you are in your first 90 days to go for this $3,000. If you don't, Warren Buffett gets it back and he really doesn't need it. That's what I always joke around. But hey, why not go for this, help other people, and get $500 when you promote in your first 90 days to director. That's 5 people. And as Tiffany said, it doesn't have to be 5 of your own. It can be you recruit 1 and they get somebody, or they get 2 and then you get another 2. It's all different ways, but $500 cash plus all the bonuses she just announced. When you hold that title for 3 months in a row, you get another $500 cash. And when you promote to advanced director in your first 6 months, actually, you get $1,000 cash. And you hold that title for 3 months and you get another $1,000 cash. When you also, if you're past your 90 days and when you become a director and you help somebody on your team fast track, you're going to also get this cash. So don't think the cash is totally off the table. But we have had a few people, I don't think she's on yet, but we have had a few people on our team do this. And why not? Why not go for extra cash? Put in the comments in the chat what you guys would use with an extra $3,000 that you earned. But we can
$3,000. That's a big chunk of change.
Mm-hmm. There's actually more because you get $100 cash per person that you recruit in your first 90 days as well when they qualify. So it actually can be more than $3,000.
So we've got some answers that say vacation, a new car, vacation, finish a gym, pay off debt. See,
I'm just pretending I'm on vacation with my background, by the way.
There you go. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, so let's hear from a consultant who has done this in the past. These are some people who, and we've all got our own Rockstars on the Rise chat. So you guys might notice some of these, might be you, but after completing all of Rockstars on the Rise in the beginning of the summer, I absolutely loved learning about the charting method. I still use it, and it keeps me in line of who I contact and who I need to follow up with. Follow up is key, which is so true. I'm excited to see what I learn in this time around. Rockstars on the Rise is the best of times. It is the worst of times, ha ha ha, which is so true. The best, my business grew unbelievably. I had 4 to 5 parties a month, and I was hopping with the follow-ups and customer care. The worst, Rockstars on the Rise will challenge the way you view yourself as a business owner. It makes you accountable. Would I recommend it to everyone? Absolutely. And those are just a few. There's other people too. So what do I need to do to build my business? All right, we all know bookings are our bloodline, right? Lifeline, lifeblood, whatever you want to call it, they are going to get us there. So part of this program, the 4-week program, is your goal, as I always say, is hashtag Sweet 16, and that means getting 16 bookings for October on your calendar. Okay, that is within the end of 2 weeks. So not next week, the following Monday, which is that October? No, the 28th? The 28th?
Oh, one more week out.
No, that's October or something. Okay. We'll
October 5th.
Okay, thank you. October 5th, mark your calendar. That's when you need to have the hashtag Sweet 16, 16 bookings for October. And some of these numbers are going to scare you, but stay with us. We know that you're going to feel all different things during this program, and we know this program really works. So what do the numbers look like? So virtual parties, you're doing 16 of them, which is for a week in a block. So it can be one Facebook party once a week, and it'll get you there, okay? And then this is just broken down into different categories. So if you are going out of the house, everybody's got different things going on right now. So if you're doing cooking parties, you can do 12 virtual and 2 cooking. And it just breaks it down. Fundraisers also count as one. So you can do fundraisers as well. So the reason why you're going for the 16th, because we know life gets in the way. So 3 to 4 will drop or flop. And what was the other thing? Or flip, as you said?
Oh yeah, Stephen recently said one could drop, one could flip, meaning somebody would be joining your team and become a consultant in the middle of you running their party.
Right. So the goal of why 16 is because, you know, with this happening, you'll end up with a minimum to submit of 12 shows, and 12. So the minimum you can have to go to the next part of this program, the amped up part of it, is 12 shows. But don't give up, because we still have a program going on, but we really want you to shoot for the highest. We never work to minimums. So how many do you have right now? Put it in the chat. How many you have for October, and how many you have / how many do you still need
to hit that Sweet 16?
Mm-hmm. I see some things flying.
Flip, flop, drop.
Flip, flop, drop.
Flip, flop, drop. There you go. Flip, flop, drop.
All right. 0 needs 16, 0, 16, big fat 0. 1 need 15, 5 need 11. That's great. None desperate for my 16. We're going to help you get there. If you pay attention, if you go by the things that we say, you will get there. And if you believe, you have to believe you can do it. 7 need 9, 0, 1, 15, 0, 16, 2, 14, and 2, 14.
So I think that's pretty comforting to know that you guys are not alone. And if you're feeling like, if you got on this call and I goes, oh my gosh, I have no October bookings, look how many other people only have none, or only have 1, or only have 2. So you're not alone in that. So what we're going to, like Debbie says, we're going to give you some, sorry, there's an airplane.
Okay. We're going to give you the tools to get there. So just trust us in it and really do the work, and you will get there, we promise. So step 1, control your calendar. So identify the days you will consistently offer parties. Right now with the virtual world, this is a little bit easier, like, and you can put this in the chat too, what days you usually start your virtual parties. And when you're going to go for 16, you really want to make sure that you keep them all starting on the same day. So like all my parties, I set them up on a Friday, they start inviting over the weekend, and my posts start on Monday. But they all end the same time, because this is how you can run that many parties at once when you're doing virtual. So highlight your calendar as a dates to offer. You can also offer 15-minute express parties, and those you can throw in anytime you want, because it's a 15-minute express party. start days of multiple parties, like I said, all the same, live cooking parties. Mark the dates off and only offer the dates to your potential. Do not leave the calendar up in the air. You control your calendar, okay? So when you're going for the bookings, you're going to say I have X date and X date, which works better for you. And we're going to give you that later on, but usually that's what we do, is just offer 2 dates because you'll overwhelm them with too many. So consider when you're scheduling parties, you want to have top heavy the first 2 weeks of the month and the last week of the month for the next month's sales. So not this month though, don't do that in September, just saying. Or every other week off and do more. So some people like to take a week off. So what they'll do is they'll do the 8 parties in 1 week, take a week off, so they recoup from it, and then 8 parties the following week. So it's up to you what you would like to do on that one.
All right, so making contacts. Who are you going to contact? So you're going to grab a notebook or the tracker that we're going to provide you, and this is a scary number, but we want you to do 80 reach outs a week, which will yield you approximately 25 two-way contacts. So right now, if you're keeping notes, I want you to write this down. For every 10 contacts, so for 10 contacts, 7 of them will not even reply to your message because that's how the world is, right? Okay, so 7 will not even reply. Out of the remaining 3, you will have a chit chat back and forth with. And out of those 3, so that was 10 reach outs. Then that leaves you with 3 contacts. There was a dialogue that happened between you and another person. That is the 3 contacts. Then from that 3 contacts, you will get 1 booking. All right. So this is just kind of statistically, this is like overall. Some of you might have really better ratios than that. Last week, I sent 75 messages and got 1 booking. So my ratio was way different than that last week. So it really depends. So write this rule of thumb down, the 10, 7, 3, 1. 1 will book. Now, there's a different methodology that a lot of times we concentrate, okay, I just got to do the 25. I just got to do the 25. I got to do 25. But if another thing that I've learned from Debbie is she challenged the way I was thinking and thought, okay, you know what? Instead of counting how many contacts I'm making every day and saying, oh, I can quit after I did my 20 for today, I am going to keep making contacts until I get a booking. If you do that every day, at the end of 7 days, you will have 7 bookings, okay? So do not give up until you get the booking. So some days you may make 20, 30, 40, 50 messages before you get the booking. And then the next day you may just have to do 10 messages and you get the booking, okay? So it's not always gonna be the hard and steady rule of thumb, but that is kind of like an overall thing. So we wanted to tell you that first. Then thinking of people that you're going to contact. Your Facebook friends are going to be your first and probably your first line of people because we're all doing Facebook parties. And you can start with A and work your way down. You can also go to the very, very bottom of your friends list. So if you go to your page, click friends and start looking all the way down, those are the people you are not interacting with. If you notice the people that are at the top are the ones that you comment on or they comment on your stuff and stuff and you see those people in your news feed, get past that first 20, 30, 50 people and you're going to notice those people down there, you're not seeing what they're doing. So those are the people that I have been going after are the ones that I don't see as much. People that are super busy, have them consider that 15-minute party that Debbie was just talking about. Referrals from friends and family. I can tell you after 17 years, my mother and my sister have never hosted a party with me. But my mom will send people my way. My sister, whole different story. But my mom will definitely send people my way. People that you know through your contacts in PC. So like you've already had parties with them in the past. They've been guests. They've been hosts. Contact all those past customers. People you're seeing out and about. I know we're not doing as much out and about as we have, but I have my logo on the back of the car. And I had a lady stop me the other day. She had her mask on. I had my mask on. She's like, hey, do you have a catalog? I followed you down the road. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I'm sorry, is this weird? I'm like, no, that's the whole reason why I put the logo on the car in the first place. So doing that. I've been actually helping my grandmother clean out her house recently, and every single person that saw some of the posts, guess who got catalogs as they left the house with their furniture they took from Nana's house. Consider pampering a business, keeping in mind all of the rules and regulations about social distancing and all that, and like touching things and things like that. LinkedIn is out there. I don't use LinkedIn a whole lot, but it is out there. My holiday card list. If you have never been through a holiday season with Pampered Chef, but you are really good about sending holiday cards and you have all those addresses, why not? When I first started, I was a newlywed and I had all of my wedding list people still. People who are in your phone, you guys realize that you've probably been carrying the same phone address book forward from like the last 6 phones, you know, because we just keep copying that upload over and over. So you got people in your phone that you probably have not texted forever. Maybe they're not even on Facebook. They don't even know what you're doing. So go through that phone list, start scrolling those contacts and go, who is that person? Maybe I should tell them about Pampered Chef. People in your family and your family reunion kind of things. Like I said, we were cleaning out my Nana's house. So I had aunts and uncles in town helping with Nana's house, and they all got new catalogs. So you've got lots of different people to think about. And then you can kind of, if you've never heard this acronym Frank is a really good one. It stands for friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids, and spouse/significant other. And you can start cross-pollinating those lists. Like you could do spouses, acquaintances, or spouses, coworkers. I use my kids a lot, like for their coaches, or you can use your furry babies, like who do you maybe does your pet care and things like that. So just really start thinking outside of your normal list of contacts.
And one thing with the contacts is you need to be open, because most of us will shut that down right away. We don't have enough contacts. We don't know enough people. You need the mindset of, I'm going to do this and I have enough contacts. Sorry, Tiffany. But I have enough contacts, because if you guys are blinded and saying, I don't have contacts, you're missing all the people out here. I know my hands just disappeared, but all the people outside of that blind spot. So you need to really think outside of the box. Like when we're saying neighbors, it can be neighbors where you grew up. It could be the neighbor behind you, up the corner, a few blocks away. It doesn't have to be a neighbor that's right next door to you. So you got to think of different people and be open to it and say, yes, I'm going to find enough people to do this. And all the different ways that Tiffany just said, but really, truthfully, build that list of who you're going to reach out to. And I swear it's going to work for you, but you have to be open to doing it and thinking outside the box.
And especially right now, like, was it one of you were saying today, like I haven't left my house. Oh, it was Courtney. Courtney was saying she hadn't left her house in forever. And that's why they up and decided to go on vacation this past weekend, because she needed to get out of her house. Like I was thinking today when I left my house, when's the last time I had left my house? So maybe it's time that I get out a little bit. And, you know, there are still things I do that I have to have contact with people. Like I still go to the bank. So when I go to the bank, I give them, you know, a catalog and do some follow-up with that person. So kind of think outside your normal back and forth to work routine, some of the things that you do outside of that. And this will really help. So if you come to us in a week and say, I reached out to everybody, I'm going to ask you who everybody is. And if you tell me a list of 12 people, you did not reach out to everybody. Okay. Unless you only have 12 Facebook friends, then I'm going to say, okay, you reached out to everybody. But I don't think a single person on this call has less than 100 Facebook friends.
But
so
even with Facebook, you have your phone contacts. Those
yes.
And your Facebook. So that's what we're trying to explain here, is really try to stretch yourself. You might feel uncomfortable, but stretch and really go for thinking of all these different people, like, oh, wait, I didn't think of them. Even if you have to say, oh, whose birthday is this month? Whose birthday is next month? Who's got
Facebook tells you whose birthday is every day.
Right. How about who's got red hair? You know, like it, you know, just try to think of different things if you think you've already went through your list and come up with new ideas. Right?
Yes. So Debbie, want to do this one?
Sure. What are you going to say? Okay. So your team, all you guys have Facebook groups, your team, Facebook groups, go to units for verbiage. And we're also going to have it in our homework / it's called call to action. So if we say call to action, that means homework. And if we say that vice versa, that's what they mean. And Tiffany has it so nice. It's in Evernote. And we even put little check boxes so you can check off things as you go. You're going to send to your director before you start sending out to your friends and family and acquaintances this week, which wording you're going to use. Okay. And in that Evernote has a whole bunch of suggestions. Plus there's going to be a thing that Steve has. He's got some wording as well. Suggestions include the guinea pig or casting the wide net, and be authentic about it. Like, you know, we're giving you suggestions. You can use those, but if you feel that you're just copying and pasting it and it's not in your heart, and you don't believe in it, then change it a little bit. Don't go crazy changing it, but make it a little bit yourself. Like, I know some people will put, what is it? Hey, yeah, hey, y'all, or something like that. Well, that's not the way I talk. So that part I would change. You know what I'm saying? There's
Hey,
nothing
you
wrong with
guys.
that. Yeah. Hey, you guys. But so it's just, you could change that a little bit to yours. And I love seeing the different ways of saying it, but don't change the whole wording, but pick which one you want. And there's enough to choose from.
And it's really important that you look at that first bullet before you start sending them out. So this means like tomorrow, that you're going to come up with the words between tonight and tomorrow midday, and you're going to send them to your director so that you're not waiting until Friday to start doing your reach outs. So if we don't, secretly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to Bobby, and I'm going to have her look at it and ask me and give me suggestions to get back to you. So we need time to do that. So we want you to be thinking about those words. We're going to give you the call to action very soon after this call, so you can start looking and adding that little bit of personal touch, authenticness to your message. Before you start sending that out. We want it to send to us first so we can tweak it with you. All right, so how are you going to track it? Track your contacts in a notebook or the tracker that we shared. I'm a nerd. I love a spreadsheet, but I love to write with my colored pens. So I print out the spreadsheet. Debbie's holding a notebook up in her screen, if you guys can see her. And then I have my printout, just like the one that's in this picture here, where I write down the names and then keep track of when I message them and how I message them. So remember, we told you, you don't have to rely solely on Facebook. You can go back and use like your email list, your Christmas card list, the contacts in your phone, and you want to write down the answer or the method that you use to message them. And then it's going to be okay for you to reach back out to them if they don't respond to you in 24, 48 hours. So like last week, for instance, when Debbie challenged me to make booking messages until I got a booking, and I sent 74 of them, the next day I gave it 24 hours, and then I went back through to see who had seen it and who had seen it but not answered me back, or who had not even seen it at all, and wrote myself a note next to those too. But keeping track of it, because you will not remember who you messaged an hour ago. Like, I can remember what I was doing exactly 20 years ago today, but I can't remember what I was doing 10 minutes ago. So you've got to write it down. So for me, I love to type. However, I felt the pressure of having to be at my computer to type all the information in. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a piece of paper. My kids are in sports right now. That way, when I go to practice and I'm doing like 10 quick messages out, I can write them down, and I have the piece of paper in the car with me. I don't need the computer to type it all in to make sure it's all there. So, but you've got to track it. So whether you use the notebook or the piece of paper, you've got to write it down. You've got to leave yourself some space to write down what the correspondence is, whether it's a follow-up later or that's one of my common ones is I use FU, but it doesn't mean what you think it means. It means follow up. And so like you'll see at the top of this screenshot right here, it has all the different abbreviations I use. I love abbreviations so that I know what that means when I come back to my piece of paper to do another round.
Hey, and I also use a highlighter. So like if it was a two-way, I put a little orange highlight next to their name to the left. And then I also highlight it pink if I need to follow up. And green is when I book a party, because green means money. So there's a few different colors you can use for different things. But I just noticed on here that we didn't talk about the other way you can reach out to people is Instagram. You have it on here. IG.
Oh yeah, I do. I do have
another great way. Maybe you guys haven't reached out to people on Instagram. You can send private messages. When people see your posts, you can send private messages anyway, but so you can I've gotten sales from there. People get recruits from there. You can get parties from there. I've gotten parties from there too for some of my posts.
Yeah.
So use Instagram too, if you have.
Yep. Got that nice IG. Yep.
That's
all right, Debbie.
Okay. So why is it important to track? So this is a training we had years ago at a conference, and I'll never forget it. It was one of the best trainings ever, because when you hear the word no, most of us shut down, right? When you hear no, you're like, okay. And you just walk away and you don't finish making your contacts. You take it personally. Okay. So it's not about you. And I think Marie Friday was one of these. This was when they were in-home parties. She said, well, some people just don't like the vacuum and they feel they have to vacuum before you come over. So try to think of, they might have something going on in their life. They might have a friend that does a business. There just might be something that they're not telling you. So a lot of times, we want to go for the nose. We've had different things where you can put 10 bracelets on your hand And then every time you get a no, you move it over to the next hand. And when all the bracelets are on the one hand, though, I like better in a pill box, you put candy. And every time you get the no's, you get to eat the candy. You have to get 10 no's and you get to eat a piece of candy. I've heard all different ways. I'm sure you guys can come up with some fun ideas for that. But here's a great tracker, and this is in the homework/call to action. And I'd suggest printing it out, and then this way you can cross off when you get no's and reward yourself. But sometimes the no's aren't now. It just means, so you have to say no. When they say no, you can say, oh, okay. And sometimes it might be the 2 dates you gave them. You can say, oh, okay. So if, this date and this date don't work for you, would November be better for you? Like I always would give 2 dates usually. So, you would say November or December better for you then, or you would just give 2 more dates in October. And then if they say, no, I'm not doing a party, then you can say, okay, thank you. Would you like me to follow up with you in the future? Or do you know anybody who needs a fundraiser? Then you can get a fundraiser out of it maybe. Because some people just won't have parties because they feel they're taking the free from, their friends are buying and then they get the free. But they'll do a fundraiser in a heartbeat. So make sure you go for the no's. And if you're not sure about it, make sure you reach out to one of us. But this go for no thing is the best. So one of the things they had brought up at the thing is, and I'm going to really not do this justice, but okay. So Hank Aaron, who was the home run king, right? Because there was people after him, but how many times did he have to strike out, which is a no? How many times did he have to strike out before he became the home run king?
I don't know.
Right? Now, there's also a famous person. They gave us a few choices on different things. One of them was is a famous person, but at the time, because they didn't have a culinary background like school, they said this person would never make it anywhere. And we had to guess who it was. It was Rachel Ray. You guys all know Rachel Ray, right? There was another one with the cookies, chocolate chip cookies, and it was Mrs. Fields. So if these people listened to what people, and they got multiple no's before they ever made it where they are now. So you can take a no and let it ruin you, or you can take a no and go, I'm going for more no's because there's a yes behind that. Okay, so it's all in the way we think. So just remember, every time you get a no, you're closer to that yes.
All right. So when and now. So Debbie and I were planning this today, and Debbie just loves this frog.
Yeah.
And so there was a couple of years ago, we did a training again where we're relying on our past experiences called Eat That Frog. And if it is your job to eat a live frog, the best thing is to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat 2 frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. So this is about your priorities, right? If you can do the worst thing you have to do that day is to eat the frog, get it done and over with. All right. So we want you to start these steps ASAP. So some of you are on different time zones than the East Coast. So you still got a little bit more daylight or nighttime or whatever you want to call it before you hit the hay. Or, I still feel like I can message people on Facebook till 10 or 10:30, depending on the person. So get this stuff done early. You do not want to wait until Friday to start doing your call to action / homework steps. All right. That defeats the whole purpose of this training because you don't have enough time to apply what you were learning and then to take steps and take action on it and then to report back to us. So we're really, really encouraging you guys to do one of the first things we're going to have you do is a Google form. Do it like as soon as we get off this call. And then the next thing is going to be listening. We're going to go over that in a second, like listening to some trainings. Do that as soon as you can so you can apply what you hear and to do your reach outs.
Hey, I want to know in the chat, since we were on the frog thing, you can go to the other one, doesn't matter. In the chat, let's have a little fun and we'll go on to the next things. But in the meantime, type in the chat what your biggest frog is that you need to eat. Like, what is the thing you don't like to do most in your business?
That's a good one.
And let's see what that is. I want to have some fun with it. But I think somebody put something in there, something really good. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Couldn't play basketball good enough to be on his team. That is amazing. Jeff Dunham is another one. I don't know that one. Recruiting, getting motivated. Those are all good ones. Okay, go ahead. I won't read the rest of them now.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. So mandatory participation for this program really to work for you, you need to be on this call and the next one. And like Debbie said, we have a split at the end of 2 weeks. And for week 3, you either go in path A or path B. So we're working to get you to that Sweet 16 before that split at the end of week 2. So you're going to complete all the steps and turn them in. Actually, I forgot to write, that's supposed to say by Sunday for both of them. You're supposed to have everything turned into your director by Sunday at 11:59. But a lot of the steps we're going to tell you, like, kind of do this immediately, do this right after you do this. You can, the one thing of the making the contacts, you can keep making contacts all the way up to Sunday night, but the listening to the training that we're going to give you and the check-in chat with your director and things like that, they are a little bit towards more the front of the week. The priority of them is sooner. Schedule your check-in chat with your director and then keep doing those reach outs. So here's what the Google form is going, not the Google form, I'm sorry. The Evernote looks like with all your homework. You're going to complete this Google survey for us, hopefully tonight. You're also going to listen to an audio training from Steve Drapowski. You don't actually need to watch him. So if you want to listen to it while you run, walk, eat, not sleep, shower, drive, you don't have to look at it, even though it's a YouTube link. Just listen to it. But at a stoplight, please write down your 3 takeaways, or once you get to work, or, you know, when you're back not running or whatever, because we will ask you that during your check-in chat to see what was personal to you. Before you do those reach outs, we just want to reiterate that you're sending us your words to use so that we can help you tweak them. Just a side note, the training that Steve has, he talks really fast and he's got tons of words for you to use in there. Every day you're going to be tracking those reach outs, either in your notebook or your little, you're printing out of your spreadsheet, and going for that no. Keep going until you get one booking every day. So like I said, sometimes it may be 75 contacts to get the booking, and then the next day it could be 10. Send invites to your recruit leads. We have a weekly look and learn every Wednesday night. So your team page, your team group will have the graphic and the words that we use and the information of the Zoom link and all that stuff. But we want you to start thinking about growing your team. You're going to sign up for a director check-in chat, and depending on your director, it could be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we all use different methods for how we sign up. I know my team, I'll be sending you a sign-up genius here to pick your date. And then, what's that?
I do too.
You do a sign up genius? In the group chat, within your Rockstar and the Rise team individual group chat, participate. Like, talk it up. Talk to us about what you're doing, what challenges you have, what successes you have. Thumbs up are boring, okay? Be a little bit more interactive to that. Do you hate it when a host gives you a thumbs up? Like, you send her a bunch of stuff and she's like, you're like, what does that mean? Okay? So I want you guys to be interactive. And then after your check-in chat, you're going to continue to work on your reach outs. And then that's the picture we want of that, whether it's a picture, a screenshot of your spreadsheet, or, you know, a snapshot of your hand. If your handwriting is awful, you might want to consider typing. I don't know. I try to write legibly, at least so I know what it says on there. But you're going to send that to your leader too in a private message, not on that group chat. Just send it in a private message so that we can individually kind of talk to you, one, about the words you're using with your contacts, and then how many contacts you did versus how many bookings. So remember, your contacts are going to be a lot higher than the number of bookings. It kind of goes reach outs, contacts, bookings. Remember the rule of 10. 10 reach outs, 3 back and forth contact will lead to the 1 booking. So we're going to be looking at those numbers with you. One of them, I know Debbie and Bobby and Laura and I all talk about how if you throw enough spaghetti against the wall, eventually some of it will stick. So just keep throwing that spaghetti. All right. Oh, I hit the wrong screen. Hold on. I meant to hit the next slide and I hit the thing here. All right. So you've got to plan your work and work your plan. Okay. You cannot make excuses and money at the same time. That is one of my favorite quotes, besides Master Yoda saying, do or do not, there is no try. So if you tell me I'm going to try to do my contacts today, you basically just told me I'm not going to do it. okay? Because, or something else as a higher priority. So we understand juggling multiple things in a day between your home life, your kids' school life, your kids' activities. I know I have teenagers that don't drive, so we're constantly shuttling people and staying on top of virtual schooling and all that stuff, trying to run a household. But just like a diet or a workout plan, if it's important to you, you will make it work. So if you've got to get up an hour early or you got to stay up an hour late, that means I have to forego my nap, give up some bad TV, to make this work for you. Okay. We want to see you succeed. And so that's why we're giving you all these tips. And yes, like you may remember one of the quotes early on, this is a challenge. You are going to feel a little uncomfortable. You're going to feel a little overwhelmed. You're going to feel excitement as you get those bookings. Okay. You're going to feel a range of emotions, but it will be worth it. So I'm going to ask if Bobby or Laura or Debbie have anything that they would like to interject, as opposed when it comes to any of the call to action or feelings or anything like that. Go ahead and do that now.
I'm just going to hop on because Tiffany, you'll appreciate this. My new favorite quote is, "This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way." You do this.
What we do.
You do this and it works, and we keep doing it. Those of us who've been in the business many, many years, what we just laid out is really what works, and it just keeps working.
That's all I was going to say as well, is that we all do this every single month. That's why all of the leaders are on this call, is because though we alternate who's actually leading it, we all are participating. And we all know exactly how you're feeling right now. We've all felt that as well. And Tiffany and Debbie did an excellent job of outlining those steps in the homework. And you may be feeling like, oh my gosh, it's so much. But here's the thing, is you're going to get an Evernote in your little chat in just a minute from your leader. And it's all laid out there for you. Each little link is there for you. It's in order of when you're supposed to do it. You're not going to be confused. Just do it. Just do it.
Just like Nike said, just do it. All right. So does anybody have any questions before we shut off the recording? I know we have a few people who are not in the first two time zones of the United States, so they are getting the recording afterwards, so they can benefit from your questions.
And you can unmute if you want, or you can put it in the chat.
Everybody's ready to go?
You had mentioned pamper your business earlier. What is that?
You can, a couple of different ways. You could just, I know one time, this time last year when the fluted cake pan came out, the mini fluted cake pan, I made a bunch and I did not need to be tempted with 12 cakes. So I kept one from one batch and one from the other. And then the other 10, I took up to a couple businesses around in my area right here. And I took catalogs up there. And so I kind of chatted it up with the receptionist, like at the vet up here, and left her a catalog and left her a cake and said, I'd love to come back and like chat with you like in a couple days if y'all collected any orders in the office, kind of like making that one person my point person. So like she would hand out the catalogs there. I've done the same thing at like my GYN office or my eye doctor office. Just take something a little special besides just saying, here's a catalog, because we are food people, right? So baked goods seem to go over really well. With all of our like brownie pan and mini petite bite pan, whatever, all the little pans that we got, like Mike, we like to bake, but I do not need to be tempted with all that. So yes, I want to taste it, but I need to give the rest of it away. But yeah, that's a good way to go. And
some people even did like, they would take a basket, they would, maybe call in first and see if they could do it, is they would take a basket with some of the products in it with the catalogs and then also some food. And then they would say, I'm going to come back in 2 days to pick up, no food, of course, the food's gone, but any orders that anybody has and the products. So there's a few different ways of doing that. It's just different ways.
Yeah, another way, if you have a service-oriented business like a salon or something like that, I like to go in and say, hey, do you guys have a favorite charity or a cause that you guys are supporting or you'd like to make a donation to? How about if I leave you a couple of catalogs, you collect orders from your staff and maybe any customers that might be interested. I'll come back and collect the orders and I'll make a donation to your favorite charity or we'll put it in as a fundraiser. It's just an easy way to start a conversation, because that's really all we're doing is we're starting a conversation.
And you can also do Zoom parties. We forgot to mention that before, like the 15-minute parties. You can also do Zoom parties, whether you're on it like this, or if you want, there's a slideshow that you can do, like just a slideshow, and you would be talking, you'd be tiny, but you could share the screen like we just did with all products instead of you doing a live cooking demo. So you also have those options and fundraisers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I like what Christine says, just don't tell your GYN, boy, I got something to show you. Although, Christine, that is, whenever I do like my annual GYN visit, I do wear a Pampered Chef shirt. And even though you don't wear it during the exam, I strategically place it on the chair, right side out with the logo facing right there, so that when she comes in, that's usually the first thing she sees.
I was actually an OBGYN nurse for a while too, so.
I had gotten a booking from one, and I then she signed up to be on my team for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So they are fun people.
Yep. So yeah, just anybody that you typically do business with, like, you know, and I'm already thinking, okay, we have our first softball game tomorrow. Our new team colors are green and black. What green shirt do I have that says Pampered Chef on it?
I know Caitlin's a teacher, so she's got a lot of, yes, Caitlin's got a lot of, and she's a coach. So
Yeah.
she's got a lot of opportunity for fundraising and stuff too.
I'm doing the sophomore class fundraiser right now.
That's awesome.
We have one more week.
Yes.
There you go. Well, let me know if you need help on that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have an idea or a question they want to shout out?
I was going to say, Crystal's got triplets, young triplets. Oh, 10. I think they're 10. Are they 10, Crystal?
They're 10. Yep.
So she get, you know, there's different groups that they're in for multiple children, right? Or something. I don't know the name of it.
There are. And we're doing a fundraiser next month for our Mothers of Multiples group. So we have that
There you
going
go.
on. That going on in October.
There you go.
Fundraisers are key right now.
Yeah.
And it's the only way people can fundraise, and you have so many opportunities, and you meet so many people that you would never have met it, you know, from a regular party. So
Christine keeps raising her hand. Go ahead, Christine.
Yeah, I want to get some of the PC gear, but every time I go to it on Stir and then click shop, it goes back to my web page, and I
Go
can't
to my account and go through it that way.
go to my account.
And then there's one of the boxes. It says PC gear at the bottom of one of the boxes.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else got a question relating to bookings or show types or anything like that? Are you guys feeling a little bit better now that you've listened to us for the last 45, 50 minutes on going to get shows, words to say, you're not alone, we're all in this together, this is the way? Everybody good?
Yeah, think positive, think positive.
Being positive?
I definitely feel motivated. I actually have, is crazy because we're talking about all of this, but we're in Hershey, Pennsylvania right now. And I was hearing a story this morning about how Milton Hershey went bankrupt 4 times before he actually got, he had to borrow money from his aunt to start up his business. And that is now what Hershey is today. And I was just thinking of how, how much failure is just a part of this, and how you're not failing. You just have to try again.
You guys know what fail stands for? First attempt in learning. So nobody on this call we've all failed. We've never not failed. So that's the only way that you can get anywhere. I think in any kind of business that you do is you have to fail to learn. So when you're getting all those no's, just think it's another learning experience. And I even take it a step farther sometimes and ask them why. I'll say, a lot of times I spin it and say, I teach at my team on booking. So do you mind sharing with me why you said no so I can teach them? Or if you're a new consultant, you can say, well, I'm really new, so I'd like to learn a little bit more about why you said no, just so that I can use it as a learning experience. Then it's okay to do that. My mother also says that I have an answer for everything. So that's why I don't take no on the first no I don't really hear it. It doesn't really sink in. So that's why I usually what about a fundraiser? Oh, what about a bridal registry? Oh, what about this? So, giving them additional options, because it could just be that, like Debbie said, those 2 dates just they may look at that and go, no, I just can't do October 3rd or 10th. But then if you say, well, what about November? They're like, oh, yeah, November is totally cool. It's just that I just couldn't see past these 2 weeks and think I could get it done in this 2 week span.
Macy's failed 7 times before they came big.
Yep.
Put
And
somebody-
Edison tried 1,000 times before the light bulb worked. So thank God he kept trying.
Thank God. Yes.
And also just think of it, I know she said she was at Hershey. So somebody gave this analogy is we're all on a roller coaster, right? So, the last few months we've been up, right? But we all come down a little bit, but do we stay down or do we keep going back up? That's your decision, because we can all go back up, and how far up we go is up to you if you just believe in yourself. And we believe in you guys, or we wouldn't have invited you guys to be on this.
Correct. All right. Well, we thank you guys all for being here. We're going to get the homework sent your way in your individual team Rockstar on the Rise chats. We'll also convert this recording. So if you wanted to go back and listen to it, you'll have that option too. But we wish you luck. It is 9:23. So you have plenty of time to send some private messages to us tonight on what words you're going to use. So you can send them all out tonight, or you can listen to Steve's recording in your homework tonight. Okay.
And the Google.
And the Google form. Don't forget the Google form. Okay.
Google.
All right. Let me hit